In today's video, we're going to be discussing the chipping yips and how to get rid of them for good. Make sure you check out this video. That was a good contact. Actually might be the best of the bunch. Maybe I should chip one-handed with it. Jon Watts here from the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me at my short game area, and today I'm going to be answering a viewer's question of how they can stop the chipping yips. Now, even if you're not at the extreme that you would class it as yips, these simple tips could really transform your chipping around the green. So we're going to be talking about keeping it simple and really creating a body movement rather than letting the hands and arms getting too involved. So if you're just struggling with the trajectory, the distance control, this is still going to be relevant for you even if you don't feel like you got to the stage of the yips. So what is the yips? It's really when the hands are kind of working a little bit involuntary from what the body's trying to do. So as much as possible, I'm trying to get golfers to dominate the movement with the bigger muscles and stop their hands getting too involved. Depending on how extreme it is, depends on how hard we need to work at it. You'll have seen golfers over the years, pro golfers, try I was going to say crazy things, but it's whatever works. It's whatever works for that golfer. So I've seen golfers chip one-handed. I've seen people go left hand below right, just to try and get the motion to feel like something different. So if this video does help you, I'd love to hear, put some comments below. Also, if you click to subscribe, at least 2 instructional videos a week, hopefully all relevant around your game. As I said, get in touch and then I can film some real relevant content for you. So chipping yips, as I mentioned there, I'm really trying to stop the player using so much with the hands and arms. So we want to try and dominate more with the body. What tends to happen is the player goes back okay, but then it's normally the trail hands. So the dominant side to a right-handed golfer, their right hand, that gets too involved and starts to create a lot of speed and a lot of tension, and we almost see this flicking movement at impact. So players struggle controlling the direction, the quality of contact, and of course the speed. Now it might be that they sort of accelerate and then they try and stop themselves and they duff it. I've seen all sorts. I've seen people really struggling. It's such a destructive area to the game because, you know, the best players in the world are only hitting, what, 12 out of 18 greens in regulation. So let's say, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt watching this video. I'm going to say you're hitting 7, and it might well be less than that, but let's say 7 greens in handicap regulation, okay? You're still leaving yourself a lot of opportunities for chipping, pitching, and bunker shots. So getting this ball closer to the flag is our key point to start to take less putts. Now, I know that sounds really obvious. What can we do at setup to really cure the chipping yips, start to involve the body, less hands? A big thing I would do is stand a lot closer. I see too many people standing too far away when they're chipping, and then the club will actually be moving on more of an arc. And in a normal golf swing, yes, we want that. Chipping, we want to feel like the club is moving closer to a pendulum, even if it's not actually moving that way. There is arc, there is rotation, there's just a lot less than in a full swing. So when players get further away, the club tends to come in and open, then they've got to use a little bit more rotation or hands to try and square the club face. So it's a little easier if that club is actually moving a little bit more up and down the target line. Excuse me. And that's why I would stand closer. I'd move the club shaft more upright. And now we can create an action where the club is moving a little bit more down the target line for longer. Other things we can do at setup, I would really encourage you to go as soft and as light as possible with the grip pressure. But a lot of people find that although they start light, the pressure increases as they swing. So a real simple thing we can do, once we've got that closer in this way towards the golf ball, gripping it lighter, is we could just focus on a rhythm-based thing. If we have no thoughts in our head, often destructive stuff can come in there. So if you've been struggling chipping, you'll get the club away here and you'll think, oh, don't do it, don't, you know, a bad negative thought's going to perhaps jump into your head. It's not a problem having those negative thoughts beforehand. It's, you know, entirely possible if you've had poor results. but try and then focus on, okay, what am I actually trying to do? I'm trying to land the ball here, it's going to bounce there, it's going to roll and release here. And focus on what you can try and achieve rather than perhaps all the negatives. It's not that we're not going to get rid of those from our thought process, but we're going to focus on what we're trying to achieve. And we could fill our head with something really simple, just a rhythm-based thing like a tick, tock, or maybe a 1, 2, and actually counting, humming, singing, whatever it might be, filling your head with something could perhaps just stop some of that negative thought in the motion, in the actual swing, jumping into your head. Another little thing I would do at setup, as well as moving closer, and this may happen automatically, is as I move the shaft more upright and moving closer, I'd expect the grip to actually run higher up into someone's palms, so nearer their lifelines, nearer almost the pad of the thumb here rather than down in the fingers. The benefit of that is it's going to mean I have to grip lighter, and it's going to allow me to take the wrists out of the movement a little bit. So we just want less hand action when we've been struggling with the yips or quality of contact when we're chipping. So moving that club more up in the palm by standing closer is definitely going to help that. It's going to help you get lighter, and it's going to take the wrists out of it. And you may even find gripping it more like a putter. So I do on a chip and run, I'd actually grip it with a reverse overlap grip, which is I just make almost a trigger with the index finger of my lead hand and slide my trail hand up. My thumbs are much more down the center because of that palmy grip, and it feels like I'm putting. If you have got to the extreme of I really can't chip, then we may need to look at trying something pretty extreme, just so it tricks your mind into this is a different movement. And that's why you've seen players go left below right or one hand only, which we're going to get into in a second, because I think that's a really good training drill, the one hand only part. But I'm just going to go and try and hit a couple. I'm just going for this tall middle flag, so it's just over a ridge, so it's quite a tricky shot. I've got to land it short of the ridge, a little bit to the right, and let the ball roll up the hill. Again, I'm focusing on the positives, what I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to move that club more upright so I can stand in a little bit closer to the golf ball, and automatically I'm getting that club much more up in the palm of my hands. I'm going very, very soft and light, and I'm going to focus on something really simple like a tick, tock, or a back through. Something, you know, not over technical, that's just going to help me create a little bit more rhythm in the movement. Tick, tock. That's pretty good if it holds on. I thought that was good. I would almost, perhaps, it might go in the other hole, I might use a club with a little less loft, but I only brought my 58 degree to film over at the short game area, which I'm going to blame it on. Always have something to blame on. That looked pretty good. It got to the top of the hill, which is actually only about 3 foot short, but you can see it's rolled all the way down there. I'm going to have to land the ball a bit further. What I'd normally do is perhaps just use a little less loft here. Rather than my 58, I would jump down to 52, just to try and get that little bit more roll with that upslope. I was happy with the contact, I was happy with the strike, I was happy with the trajectory. So all in all, you know, it wasn't a bad chip, perhaps just the wrong club choice. So I've moved the club more upright, I've stood in closer, I've got a more palmy grip. I'm going to go very, very soft, very, very light with grip pressure. I'm just focusing on the rhythm there, as if I'm trying to really use my body, not the hands. Oh, I think that's going to have the same fate, just a little short. It's not bad. So I want to try and use as much body as possible, and I would encourage you, even if you're hitting a bad shot, to hold the finish. And I want you to judge 3 things. Is your pressure, your weight, still over your lead leg? Has your body rotated? And is the club low to the ground? And all I'm meaning by low to the ground is that we haven't really used a lot of hands and arms, wrist to flick. Okay, so is the pressure still on the lead foot? Is my body rotated? So that is hips, but definitely torso. And is the club low to the ground, i.e. I haven't used the wrist? If I'm getting 3 ticks, 3 yeses to that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to start hitting some good chip shots. So really focusing on the finish position, whether it's a good or a bad shot, is vital in my opinion. Now, I would encourage you as a training exercise to do some one hand only. If you really struggled with the yips and we're trying to take the hands out of it a little bit more, I want you to do some with your dominant hand and then some with the other hand. So I'm going to do some right-handed, some with my lead hand, my left hand. So I'm just going to hit hopefully one with each. I say hopefully because I'm obviously relying on a good shot. So right hand only, same setup position. I'm still standing in close, still going light grip. Not bad. And you can see there, I've still rotated body. I've still used chest. It's a little bit harder using your lead hand, in my opinion. Being a right-handed person, using your left hand is a little trickier. But I want the same idea, same setup, same grip, light grip pressure, and then really rotate my body. That was a good contact. Actually might be the best of the bunch. Maybe I should chip one-handed with a little bit of practice. That was much better. Gave the hole a scare, just finished about a foot past. Again, it's not just hands. You won't have seen me just flick the wrist. You'll have seen me rotate the body. So as much as possible, let's try and activate the body. I always think it's a good idea to grab another club or a tour stick, put it across your chest, and just get the feeling that we're allowing the shoulders to rotate. I want your body to open, and that's why I want you to hold the finish position. Now, as I said, you may have to try something a little bit more extreme just to get out of these chipping yips if you really struggle with it. And I have met golfers who have before. And I've seen, as I said, golfers go cack-handed, like in putting, so lead hand below the trail hand. That will feel quite strange to me. I've seen golfers chip one-handed. Whatever it takes, you might have to go quite a wacky grip, just so it feels very different to the motion you're already making. So I'm just going to do one left below right, so it's the opposite way round to me. I don't putt this way, so this does feel a little bit strange. But again, activate body. Not bad. I hit one of the other balls. It came out a little lower than I wanted there. I did feel the grip pressure just slightly increase, but I'm trying to feel something very, very different and really activate the body, the bigger muscles to achieve it. I hope that video's helped. I know there's a few points in there, but the key element is more body, less hands. Simple things we can do is more palmy grip, standing in closer and getting that club shaft more upright, going as soft and as light with the grip. I would encourage you to then focus on a rhythm rather than having a blank head where negative thoughts may jump into your swing as you're hitting it. And then I would do some training exercises, one hand only, just to then try and get that feeling of I'm turning my body, I'm keeping my grip pressure softer and lighter. If this video has helped, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, as I mentioned at the start there, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.